Hey everyone, as promised, I said once we got the pre-production copy of Everstone in the mail, I would do a video unboxing to show off all of the components that you can expect to find in the final copy of Everstone Discovering Ignis. So let's pull it out of the shrink and talk through what we're seeing and how we feel. So remove the shrink really quick, and I will ramble. So first, we've got the cover, and once we remove the cover, this was on some of the samples sent out to content creators, so not too much has changed there. We're playing around with two of the top and bottom of the side panels have changed slightly. We're playing around with a couple different looks, so feel free to sound off if you like that'll change at all. We always have the option to go back, but I personally like the added color to it. Then we have our rule book, which is a full 24 pages. For those that read through it online, the only bigger changes is we now have a full map overview showing the different locations of the main board and what actions that they interface with and how to go about that. Other things that are updated are the full solo how to play and the different character play styles of the solo mats has been fully complete on the back 2 pages. So if you're just looking for an understanding and learning of how to play the game, you only have 19 pages minus the cover and component overview. So you really got 16 pages of rules to learn how to play the base game. It's a smaller standard sized rule book, then it doesn't take up the full space. Let me hold up the box. So this is what you'll see when you open the game, but that's our rule book. We also have one of the social stretch or the community stretch goals unlocked, where we have our achievement sheet with the backside of the solo challenges. It's a little thinner than I anticipated, so that's one of the few changes that I had 2 copies come, so I quickly looked through one of them. That was really all that I noticed for major changes. We have our punch board. One punch board will come with the game, and it'll contain all 12 of the villager tiles, as well as the 5 asymmetrical player powers if you choose to use those. And if you use the Ignis rewards module, there's the 6 of them there. But yeah, they bump out. The tiles are relatively nice and thick. I'll leave this one out for later, but we'll just put the punch board to the side. Then after we've removed those, we have the custom insert with the quarter fold board that we can remove that. And let's see, this way. So we got the beautiful main board. TJ did an amazing job with the art here. That I think the board just came out beautiful. And the updated tiles now have a little more of a blend to them and pop, where you'll only see the text but the rest of it fades in. I thought that was kind of a cool touch, and each one has unique art on it, so as they move around you'll only really see the main action, so it helps with visibility of seeing the main actions on the board. But that's our main board. We then have the insert holding all the components. These were shipped not in their final spots, but just for ease of shipping and for mass production, this is similar to how all the components will be stored here. We have the 4 player mats, which they were fairly finished when we ran the Kickstarter. The main changes that happened here were the icon for this is now fully resolved, and this action here, the text got swapped out for the basic icon that will be used in other places in the game of moving relics once they've been completed. We then have our custom screen printed components. The only change that really happened here from what was visible for all the others is the caravans are double-sided screen printing. But other than that, those are all kind of the same as before. You have the custom player symbology on one side, screen printed flat on the other, and you have your player pawn that you'll move turn to turn to determine which actions you're taking. So those are all of our wooden screen printed components. One of the big things that wasn't sent out for content creators, and that we got some feedback on, is there are now player aids, one for each player. One side shows the turn structure and the symbols for the 4 main action, with a little reference here showing kind of steps 1 through 6. The other side has all of the symbology that you'll find in the game, as well as some of the main keywords of discard, discover, return, and trash. So we got our 4 player aids. Those came out fairly well. We then have our reserve mats that are dual layered. And so these were just hand cut for now, but you have the spots for all of the resources to sit in, as well as they are sized to hold during setup. This is not the right place, we'll swap those out. But we have our black reserve mat, so for the black player colors, the bottom 5, you can stack those in, and so your influence tokens in stacks of 3. If you do happen to hand bump and knock them over, there's less of a cleanup because the bottom layer is all held in by the mat. The top also reminds of like one of the main rules that was continuously forgot through playtesting that we couldn't improve upon, is now printed here. So for your first few games, that reference will be helpful, but this also holds the player power tiles. So if you're choosing to play with that module in advanced games, those will sit right in. Even if you don't want to play with them, on the back side of each one, it has the reminding steps for setup. So if you're playing with the game, you don't want a reference to the rules and you just need a quick reminder for player setup, this will help as well. So those are the reserve mats. I'm doing this in one take, no cuts, so sorry if I'm rambling. We also got dice. These dice have, I opted for a slightly larger size of the die. So if we go behind us and pull out our older prototype. Where are the dice? You can see the size difference, hopefully fairly well. But those are the 3 harvest dice that we have. Not too heavy, so you won't be damaging any tables. But those are the dice. We then have the 3 different resource types, which don't have too much left, but this is the insert, pretty much emptied. You can pull out the reserve tray, which that was one of the other changes that we need to give a little more wiggle room for this. It was all hand done, so I imagine during production it'll be a little looser. But getting that in and out is the only other thing that I caught off at first glance of the prototype. So it's pretty close to hitting mass production, but we can dump our resources in the resource tray, and then that will sit in the insert. I'm not going to be able to hang it too far, but that would sit in there, and then as you put the workshop mats away, that'll act as its lid. And so you'll have good storage there. Last few parts are, I guess we can show off some of the box side, recognizing all the people that helped with playtesting, proofing, and development of the game. We got some of the I guess my favorite locations on TJ's board that we made, and then we also have a little reference on how everything is packed together when you're done playing, that you can line it up and put everything right back in the box. Now we got, last but not least, our relic cards and our mini cards. And so I will set the box off to the side. There weren't too many changes that came from this version to the final. The minor relics are all fairly, nothing changed there from the prototype to the PCBC. Same with the reserve extensions. They're all the same, but that's the front and the back side there. We have our starting quests, which there was a little graphic cleanup to just help match the final graphics of the shapes. And then we have our 20 personal quests that players can try to achieve for reputation points throughout the game. We'll go with open this one first. So these cards now have the new final layout of them. So as you can see, the art is a little bigger and they're a little cleaner. The banners will have some slight tweaking to those, but the art came out beautifully. TJ did an amazing job. Let's try and find some more that were some of my favorites. The harvesting field guide, I thought that was an incredible illustration. But yeah, there's 80 different cards for you to explore in this world that TJ and I were able to create together. And then we got some more relics over here. So we have, I think, 10 more relics in this one. Yeah, so we have 5 more purple relics, which these are the main, like the relic actions of these ones allow you to get reputation. And we got the 5 relics that were unlocked through the Kickstarter campaign. So this is a little relic promo pack. We've marked those so that they're easier to remove if you don't want to play with them. But they add fun little twists to the game, and it's easy to just shuffle the 5 right in. And then we have our first player card, which the first player, this will get tucked under their reserve mat there. And it also goes over advanced play setup and adjustments if you want to, play with those. And the whole goal was there's extra space on the components to maximize them to increase the ability of being able to play it and not have to have your nose in the rule book. And then we have our, 20 caravan upgrades. So these got a new formatting to them. So the symbol went away, but they are still location dependent. So like this one, for example, could only go over the harvest. So you're matching rug to rug or color to color. If you're choosing to keep that side, the question mark one can go anywhere. And they are styled to look like little room extensions as you build out your caravan. So those, TJ had a bunch of extra top-down assets that we were able to re-implement into here that weren't being utilized in the main board. And I think that came out great. So yeah, those are fun little parts of the game that'll be fun to unlock and see how people feel about those. And then last but not least, this is the one that I was the most nervous about because I've never done foiling on any type of product, but we were able to surpass our stretch goals, or our campaign goal, and I'm rambling now, but we won the community play, which the last reward was creating foil starting relics. So we got the background of all 15 of the starting relics have this nice foil to them, and I think that they came out beautifully. So let's try and find another cool one. So we have I don't have the best lighting in my office, but the backgrounds of each of the cards have a foil to them, so it adds a little flash but doesn't get in the way of blurring the illustration and keeping the cards, the text, easy for them to read. So there are 2 that I pulled out that I'll probably need, or 3 that I'll retouch or may swap out the illustration for them. But I'm very happy with the PPC, and in a week or so I'll be able to approve things for mass production. These ones here, as you can see, this one was really the hardest one, is just getting the foiling in and around the kind of, I guess it's a spin-off of a metal detector, like in this spot in here and whatnot. I was just showing off my sausage fingers there, but yeah, just getting the foil into the tight spots of the illustration. I may go for simpler outline shapes just so that it's not odd looking with the like how getting the foil in there. But other than that, very blown away, and it's a surreal moment to kind of see this culmination of the awesome project. And I have everyone watching this video and who backed and supported the game to thank for that. I'm very excited to kind of move through this gate in the process, and I'd be happy to hear your thoughts in the comments below. I'm gonna quickly cut this video down because I had some microphone issues in the beginning of it, but let me know once this is up on YouTube what you guys think of the overall PPC, with this being approved in the next week or so, with those minor changes that we touched on. We'll be heading straight into production, and I'm very excited to hear what you guys think. My name's Sam, designer, and I run Everstone's publishing company, McDavid Publishing. Thanks for listening to me ramble.